Hey, welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Samara Lynn here with Sascha Segan. We have a really great show for you today. We'll talk about the top trending tech stories. We'll pull out one cool thing off of our test benches to show you. And we do have a reader question. But we're real excited about today's show because it's brought to you today by Intel. And just a quick note, the all-new Intel Experience Store is coming to Nolita here in New York City. Now, this unique, ever-changing environment provides the opportunity to get your hands on all of the latest Intel tablets and these cool two-in-one PCs that are coming out. So come in, grab a free cup of coffee, enjoy some local entertainment, and experience an exciting way to shop for technology. And Intel is giving back. Recycle your old electronics to benefit local schools. So come on in and catch the Intel Experience Store at 262 Mott Street in Nolita here in New York City. And for more information, you can go to intel.com/stores. So let's get started with the news. So Sascha, I guess with the holidays, the big thing is flying through airports. So I'm going to talk a little bit about flying through airport security. What do you have any tips on that, Sascha? I mean, can people avoid bringing their laptops, or what's a good way to get through quickly?
Yeah, it would be great to be able to avoid bringing your laptop. And a lot of people, I think this holiday, are going to be surviving with a tablet instead of a laptop. That's something you can definitely do. You want to look into these checkpoint-friendly bags that we're seeing more and more of on the market. Sometimes you can just zip those open rather than taking everything out of them. Sometimes you can just run them through without taking anything out of them at all. Jill Duffy, who's our Get Organized expert, it talks about labeling all of the chargers you're going to bring with you, because as you're going, especially with a family, you're going to end up bringing a lot of electronics with a lot of different little chargers. Maybe hard to put them back together. Get a labeler, get a piece of masking tape, get some colored Velcro even, and just label what goes with what. Make sure all the cables are connected so nothing gets lost in your bag. When I'm traveling, I very often use something called a charge pod, which is this great little multi-device charger that can charge up to 5, really realistically 3 or 4 micro USB devices at once. So we bring one charger and that charges everyone's phone. It prevents a lot of these little stuff from kicking around my bag. Now, whether you're flying or not, you should be prepared over this holiday weekend for delays. The weather across a lot of the country is not so great. My number one tip is bring backup batteries. Bring fully charged backup batteries. Do not assume that there's going to be an outlet anywhere. If there's an outlet, it'll be a pleasant surprise. But grab a backup battery with a USB port maybe for your tablet or phone. Charge a second battery for your laptop. That way, when you're stuck in that flight delay, that bus delay, you're not going to be without entertainment.
And you're doing the smart thing. You're taking a bus ride. It's going to be 5 hours, but that's smarter, I think, than flying. Are you bringing one of these charger things with you? What do you usually throw in your bag?
Yeah, absolutely. We're bringing a backup battery, and we're bringing a 4G LTE hotspot. Once again, not relying on the dodgy Wi-Fi on the bus. Hopefully, my daughter is going to be able to watch some movies, which we're going to have stored on a tablet, and the whole bus ride down to DC will go smoothly.
Very cool. Well, happy travels. And our second story today, Ookla.net. The Ookla.net index says we're 31st in broadband speed. Now, we can attest to that. I mean, I only get about 20 meg, 22 on a good day at home. So, Sascha, why is that?
Well, what happened is that Ookla, who runs speedtest.net, they're the biggest speed testing company in the world. They looked at different countries' broadband speeds. They saw in Hong Kong 71 megabits per second. Okay, it's a city-state. You can understand that. Sweden, 42 megabits per second. And Sweden has a lot of very rural areas, so that's much more impressive. The US is down at 20 megabits per second. Why? Well, it really comes down to the spotty distribution of broadband in the United States. The fact that, yeah, in a lot of cities, some cities have access to Google Fiber, some cities have access to Fios, but there are great swathes of our country where you can really only get slow DSL. There are a lot of rural areas where you can only get HughesNet.
Right.
I mean, HughesNet is awful. We have readers constantly writing in about, is there any way to liberate me from HughesNet? So it's really just that, the US does not have legitimate universal provision of broadband.
So universal, you mean like universal health care, like socialized broadband?
I don't know if it would be socialized broadband, but definitely the current system we have, where where companies get essentially monopolies to provide cable broadband, doesn't seem to be doing the trick.
So standardization is key. So now this caused a lot of talk in the lab here with this NSA Muslim porn spying. Want to give us a quick rundown,
Yeah,
Sascha?
I wrote that headline just to get the most amazing hit words in there. The NSA is spying on everybody, and one of the things they're doing, it came out recently, is they're looking at Muslim radicals. They were specifically a half dozen radical Islamic preachers and people like that, and we're trying to figure out if they looked at porn. So as a way to discredit them, to show that they're hypocrites. And now one of the 6 people they're looking at is in fact a US resident or citizen. It wasn't clear. And it's just clear, like this, this reminds me of some of the stuff the FBI did in the 60s.
Yeah.
That our government is now just digging up dirt on people to try to discredit their political enemies. And it's all very, very unsavory.
It is, and actually this is so controversial. We were talking about this a lot in the lab today, and we have a great article on Security Watch by one of our analysts and security expert, Famita Rashid. So take a look at it and leave your comments and get in on the conversation. So we'll keep our eye on this story.
Yeah, and I have to say, some of the stuff in the NSA report was pretty hilarious.
Yes.
For instance, as a vulnerability of one of these guys, their tactical vulnerability was publishes articles without checking facts.
Yeah,
And,
it's pretty surreal.
Yeah.
So we have a question today from one of our favorite question askers. Sean Foley had a question for you.
Yeah,
Sascha?
well, Sean is a common is a frequent commenter on the PCMag.com website. He's asked a question for the show before, and he always has a little bit of an agenda, and so he wants to know whether I think that Windows Phone's live tiles are better than static icons. Well, of course they are. Okay, of course the live tiles are useful and give you more information and give you a richer experience than the icons on the iPhone or than the icons on an Android device where you're not using widgets. I'd say widgets are probably even richer than live tiles. But the problem with Windows Phone is not that live tiles aren't great. It's that pretty frequently there isn't a live tile for the thing you want to do. I was carrying a Windows Phone with me for months as my primary device, and towards the end of the period, I ended up having to carry a second Android phone to use things like Uber. I would have loved an Uber live tile for Windows Phone. But the issue with Windows Phone is not, yes, this operating system is very, very capable. It has to have these third-party experiences that people are expecting from the other platforms. This is something I've said like 500 times before.
So, Sean, there you go, right from the man himself. So thank you. That great question. Thanks. Now for our one cool thing. Sascha, what have we got there? Very colorful.
Yeah, isn't this adorable? Okay, I'm turning the screen on right now. This here is the Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 Kids. And what this is a specialized version of Samsung's existing Tab 3 7.0, which is a relatively basic Android tablet with a dual-core processor, decent but not extraordinary screen, but it's preloaded with this super easy kids interface, a lot of parental controls, and it comes with this really cute case. Now, this is all stuff you could put together yourself if you're a relatively techie or relatively handy person. But Samsung's really providing the quick out-of-box experience here. And so for $189, you get a full-featured Android tablet from a big name that you can rely on. But look at this. This is clearly designed to make any 4-year-old happy.
Yeah, that is adorable. That makes me happy. So
yeah, and our mobile analyst Eugene Kim will be reviewing this soon. It'll go into our Tablets for Kids story, and we'll see how it compares to the other kids' tablets that are out there.
there you have it. Thank you so much for joining us today at PCMag Live. Have a great holiday. We'll see you after the holidays, and that's it for us today. Bye-bye.